It happened right before the 49ers preseason game against the Green Bay Packers Friday night. San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick sitting alone, surrounded by teammates, as the national anthem was played. Kaepernick explaining in an interview with NFL media, "I am not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way." In a clear reference to police shootings of African Americans, he added, "There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder." NBA stars LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony at this year's ESPYs have spoken out on these events. But Kaepernick's actions carry powerful symbolism.
I mean, ultimately, it's to bring awareness and make people, realize what's really going on in this country. There are a lot of things that are going on that are unjust, people aren't being held accountable for, and that's something that needs to change. That's something that, this country stands for freedom, liberty, justice for all, and it's not happening for all right now.
Is this something that's evolved as a philosophy in your mind, and how has this kind of progressed that you make a stand like this?
It's something that I've seen, I've felt, wasn't quite sure how to deal with originally, and it is something that's evolved. It's something as I've gained more knowledge about, what's going on in this country in the past, what's going on currently. These aren't new situations. This isn't new ground. It's things that have gone on in this country for years and years and have never been addressed, and they need to be.
Colin, will you continue, Colin, to sit? Will you continue to sit?
Yes, I'll continue to sit. I'm going to continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed. To me, this is something that has to change, and when there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, and this country is representing people the way that it's supposed to, I'll stand. There's a lot of things that need to change. One specifically is police brutality. There's people being murdered unjustly and not being held accountable. Cops are getting paid leave for killing people. That's not right. That's not right by anyone's standards.
Colin, so many people see the flag as kind of a symbol of military. How do you view it, and what do you say to those people?
I have great respect for men and women that have fought for this country. I have family, I have friends that have gone and fought for this country. And they fight for freedom. They fight for the people. They fight for liberty and justice for everyone. And that's not happening. I mean, people are dying in vain because this country isn't holding their end of the bargain up as far as, giving freedom and justice and liberty to everybody. It's something that's not happening. And I've seen videos, I've seen circumstances where men and women that have been in the military have come back and been treated unjustly by the country they fought for and have been murdered by the country they fought for on our land. That's not right. I don't understand how it's the wrong way. To me, this is a freedom that we're allowed in this country. And going back to the military thing, it's a freedom that men and women that have fought for this country have given me this opportunity by the contributions they have made. So I don't see it as going about it the wrong way. This is something that has to be said. It has to be brought to the forefront of everyone's attention. And when that's done, I think people can realize what the situation is and then really affect change.
You think that the scenes is sort of an indictment against police?
There is police brutality.
Yeah.
People of color have been targeted by police. So that's a large part of it. And they're government officials. They're put in place by the government. So, that's something that this country has to change. There's things we can do to, hold them more accountable, make those standards higher. You have people that practice law and are lawyers and go to school for 8 years, but you can become a cop in 6 months and don't have to have the same amount of training as a cosmetologist. That's insane. I mean, someone that's holding a curling iron has more education and more training than people that have a gun and are going out on the street to protect them.
Was the worst $50 investment I have ever had. You, Mr. Kaepernick, if you don't love our country, get the out of it, okay? So here's your jersey. should never play another down in the NFL again. Move to Canada. You spoiled piece of I hope you get cut.
You're never playing again.
And there he goes. America.
I've always stood for the anthem. Yeah. Because I believe in the promise of America, what the flag is supposed to symbolize, even though America often falls short of what it's supposed to symbolize. I mean, my dad served in the Army and dealt with discrimination in the Army, came back from his service in World War II, and was not afforded the full rights as a U.S. citizen after his service. So don't talk to me about sacrifice in the military, because he went to, my mom was valedictorian of our high school, couldn't go to college in Louisiana, mainstream universities, because they were segregated. They wouldn't hear about her grades. You can't go because you're black. So, I mean, and there's still problems today, discriminatory lending, housing, hiring, pay, the justice system. I mean, these are real problems. People aren't making this up, and they're trying to find ways to speak out about it. And you're not always going to agree with the method, but let's pay as much attention to the substance as we do to the symbols.
Certainly not going to say I hated A, because he had every right to do what he did. We're talking about First Amendment of the Constitution, where it gives you the freedom of speech. Definitely he exercised his right. And I want to make sure that I make this point before I get into what I have to say, Max, about specifically what Colin Kaepernick did. There are a lot of people out there that think about the national anthem and think about the flag. And, you know, they've been getting on Colin Kaepernick because they say it's disrespectful to our American soldiers. I want to emphatically state that I disagree with that. They are absolutely flat out wrong. The soldiers who put their lives on the line and sacrifice themselves for our country, they don't sacrifice themselves so you can do what they want you to do. They've sacrificed themselves so you can do what the Constitution allows you to do, that you can uphold that. That's what they fought for your right to do what Colin Kaepernick did. They didn't do that so you could sit up, so you could stand up at attention at their beck and call. They say you want the freedom of religion, freedom of speech, etc. This is what comes with it. It's the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. That is what Colin Kaepernick exercised. So when people bring up our military and they bring up our soldiers as it pertains to his refusal to stand and salute during our national anthem, that's a problem, because they're not paying attention to what our country is founded upon and what, you know, our rules, our laws, etc. are based upon.